joining me in Paul's kitchen. My name is Paul, and behind me is my lovely yet fragrant wife, Amy. And today we're going to do my cheeseburger meatloaf. So first off, we're going to look at a few key ingredients here. We got potatoes, black pepper, salt, turmeric, onion powder, cayenne powder, chili powder, and kip. Now, I want you to take a close look at this. You get this in the ethnic aisle, where they usually have Chinese, Indian, Dutch, and assorted of different things from different parts of the world. This is a Dutch spice, and my wife being Dutch, she really likes it. So it's one of her favorite things. Potatoes, we're going to take a little bit of bowl full, and something that's going to fill the bottom of something like this. I'm just going to cut them up. We're going to get some blocks of cheese. I'm using mozzarella, or I don't remember what type of cheese it is. Just something Amy picked up she likes. And we're going to cut up some onion. Just slices of onions. And of course, we're going to use some extra virgin olive oil. And of course, your hamburger. This is a small meal. It's not something for me. It's something for my wife. I'm not a big fan of it. I will eat it, but my wife, on the other hand, she loves it. She really enjoys it. So this is more of a dish for her. I don't normally just cook for me because I'll eat a salad, vegetables. I'm not a big meat eater. However, my wife, she really likes certain things, and I like to keep my wife happy. Why? Well, guess what? If you don't keep your wife happy, you're not going to have a very happy life. So take it from me. I'm trained. Mostly, I said. Mostly. So what we're going to do is you're just going to pour a little bit of oil on the bottom here. Now normally I have things already out and stuff like that. It's been a very busy day today, so I mean it's a little hot and I haven't really had a full head. But I'm just going to, put some on the bottom here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting my potatoes over the bottom. So when Amy goes in to bite them, this is basically her French fries. Or, this time I'm just going to call them Dutch fries. Don't have to worry, there's nothing stinky going in this. So we all know how Dutch people are the inventors of the Dutch oven, so I assure you Amy has taught me a few things about the Dutch oven. I'm sure we've almost got evicted a couple times from the stench coming from the bedroom, people not understanding it is what it is. Just if you walk down the street and see Amy, please don't ask her to teach you about the Dutch oven. She'd be more than happy to, but you won't like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pepper it. Generous pepper. Now salt, we don't want a whole lot of salt. We really don't. Salt's not really the best, but just a small sprinkle. That's it. So now what are we going to do? When we're talking about beef, we want extra lean. Extra lean beef is where you got to get it. Yes, medium works better for things like this. Absolutely does. But you know what? If you're going to be eating beef, you might as well stay healthy with it. Because if you take things like, and start eating things like medium or even the low grade, if you're an American watching this, please understand this is Canada. Our grades are a little bit different than yours. So, we're talking about a higher grade rather than the lower grade. I know things are a little bit different in the States because I've been told that you can get a very low grade, and you gotta watch that here because that's a little bit too much. But whatever. So we're just gonna put a little bit more pepper. We're gonna put some turmeric. Turmeric's a very nice spice. It's a little, it's an Indian spice. A lot of the Indians really like that. And then onion powder. And then we're going to put a little bit of cayenne powder. Now, if you really like hot food, you're going to want to dump a lot of this in. I'm just using enough for flavor. And then we're going to put, lastly, we're going to put a little bit of chili powder. You don't need a lot. Amy likes it hot, so we'll put a little bit on for her, but not hot, not direly hot. And I'll tell you a little bit of a story while I'm mixing the meat in here. And I'll tell you a little bit of a story here. And Amy, some time ago used to be somebody that really liked hot food. And when I tell you she really liked hot food, I don't think there was an Indian around that could actually match her. Because in India, I mean, they really like their food hot in a lot of places. It's just the way it is. So what we're going to do after we mince it enough, we're going to try to make a nice little base here. Don't need it overly thick. Normally, if I was doing this my typical style, I mean, I would have a much bigger thing, because this would probably be a meal that we'd eat for at least a week. But however, Amy's the only one that's going to eat this. See, in a relationship, you kind of have to bend over a little bit, per se, and do things for the other person to please them. This is my version of trying to please Amy, and not that I have to, and Amy is right here so she can tell you I'm right. She's not going to get overly crazy or mad at me if I decide to make something just for us rather than something for her. But when you're in a relationship, sometimes it's good to, you know, make something for your significant other. If you like to eat it, great, then great, share it with her. If you don't, then it's just a meal for them. Am I right?
Yep.
I like to make a lot of things for my wife, but I'm trying not to include really nasty things, like overload it with salt. I'm not going to do that. So in here, I'm just, in the center of it, I'm going to put a lot of cheese. Now, measurements and stuff like that, you don't have to worry too much about that. There's no right or wrong. You just need enough beef that you can, you know, that you have it in there. I'm not a big fan of having a whole whopping amount of hamburger. It's not the greatest in the world. Now, Amy's been sitting here crying, and I thought it was just my ugly looks, but apparently my onions are just a little bit fresh. So, I like having onion, I really do. Not everybody does, so... That was a whole onion, a little bit too much, but that's the inside. So you got the burger, cheese, and the onion. I mean, I'm sorry, but you can't really have a good hamburger without onion. I've been told that places like McDonald's are very notorious for sweetening their onions, just so some of the kids can enjoy it a little bit more. I'm not into that. I'm really not. Now, obviously, I don't really have like the greatest amount of meat here for this, and that's fine. It doesn't have to fully cover it. It really doesn't. There's going to be obviously some overlapping a little bit. If I had, you know, a little bit more beef, maybe it might have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. Here in my kitchen, it's not about perfection. It's more about technique. If you have good meat and good products and you make it properly, it can be a lot better. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to turn the oven on to 450, and we're going to preheat your oven, and we're going to let this bake for, and we're going to let, and please Amy, could you please be a darling and turn the fan on, please?
Yep.
And we're going to let this preheat. We're going to put this in for about an hour. We're going to keep an eye on it, and when we're done, you'll get to see the final product. While that's going, Amy is going to clean some dishes for me. I love my wife. She's awesome that way. But here's the thing. When you're making food, you should always have better product. This can be cut up, made look like a pie, or you can put on a bun, whatever you want to do. But this is going to be a nice little thing here. She might put a little bit of steak sauce on there. When you're done this, wash your hands. Make sure they're really clean. So I'm going to wait for this to preheat, and I'm going to put it in the oven for an hour, and I will be back. I'll spare you from Amy making jokes for the next hour, so we'll be back when this is done. Welcome back, and here is my cheeseburger meatloaf. I think Amy's really going to like this. If you can see, you got some nice juice dripping down from the potatoes. The meat's nicely cooked. We got some cheese. We got the onions. It looks really great, so if you bear with me 2 moments here, I am going to grab a knife and a fork, and we're going to see what we actually look like. Alright, so we're just going to break open a little piece here. You can see that it's not overly cooked. Nice light color for the hamburger. You remember, I'm colorblind. I see black, white, and gray, so I'm not going to give you the right colors. Nice little onion and cheese, and got the potatoes in the bottom here. Fork goes right, or the knife goes right through them, nice and soft. So, if you want to serve it with barbecue sauce, you want to put a little ketchup, and please be aware that when you're cooking with ketchup, it's a lot of sugar, so try to look for another alternative that's a little lower. Or you can just eat it as is. Amy, how are you going to be eating this?
Probably as is.
That's why I would put it, but this is my version of the meatloaf. It should be very tasty, it should be really good. So, if you're watching us again, please do me a favor, like it, hit the notifications button, subscribe, and please share this with your friends. I really want to get noticed a little bit more, see what I can do to help impact the community. I really hope you like this, and this should be tasty. Please drop some comments below. Thank you for coming.